Right. The money as currency, as language, from the forefront of our fathers, essentially the direction to which stumbles upon everyone, including myself, especially myself. I mean, I absolutely love currency. My theory on the matter evolved quite readily and rapidly over the years to why money to money as a double-edged sword to money as language, essentially. I'm not going to really explain all that. That's kind of nonsense. Johnson's. I was a 16-year-old boy when I wanted capitalism to fix my hairdo. Something like that. But actually, the matter of the fact is, you look at something simple. You look at something very simple. Renting. I know a bit about it, but not too much about it. It's an interesting focus point to sort of dance upon, because I am very close to it. But essentially, the merits of renting is that you save your savings. You save your savings because you are spending your income rather than digging away at a very risky sort of venture. You buy a house, you buy it wholesale, right? You put all your money into it, and you might get that in return. You might get that in return. It's not guaranteed. And the truth of the matter is that the more expensive the house, the better guarantee that is. But it's not vindicated. It's not vindicated at all. You are up a breeze, if you please. So, renting, you're spending your income. Your income, of course, that's like a particular sort of squandaries to where if you make like a bajillion squids a day, but you only save a single squiddo, 10 years time, that's quite a lot of money, but that's 10 years of your life. So, you've got to sort of understand how to save money in that sort of regard. But that's near impossible to do, depending on you and the environment. The environment being society. If you can get a job, it's all good. If you can get a good job, it's even better. If you can't get a job, and if you're on the edge of your seats constantly, renting seems like a fucking stab in the neck. And I don't disagree. If you can't save anything, then spending your money just to fucking live is absolutely brutal. But the best thing about renting, right? The best thing about it is that if you are reasonable and you're adult about it, and you go, okay, I can't rent anymore, please evict us, you have no debts. If you look after the property, you have no debts. If you go manage your money, you understand that you can't really pay. You're on downward spiral. You can't really pay. You can rent debt free, essentially. You can have no debts. You have nothing hanging over your head. Post, you can't do this anymore. Post downscaling, if you want it. Don't like the term. Post going homeless, you'll have no debt if you are a renter, and you rented recently. Fair, Say that's the entire difference from like a mortgage, right? A mortgage is somebody else pays for your house, and you pay the interest on that house, basically. It's quite it's not really complicated, but I don't particularly like it because it's like a reverse usurpery in such a manner to where you could spend all your money on it your entire life and never actually own the house. And if you go out of business and bust, they take your stuff away. It's like a business investment in a sense. You have like small scale businesses on high streets and such. They rent, and they get investments from banks and such. The investments are the sort of mortgages and such. So why do they do this perfectly healthy making money business that's getting along? Why would they rent? Because they know they can cover their income, their expenses by their income. Thus, they can save their savings, which is more important. Because if you want to own a business yourself, you're going to need a hefty head past the initial investment to really sort of do well. Because you can buy some bum place somewhere, right? Make shit investments. You can buy a shit place that has nowhere to go, no one going to it, no one knows where it is, you're lost in the world. But if you have more money, you have more money. You don't need to make that investment work if you've got more money, because you can pull out of it and be reasonably okay. That's the beauty of having money. That's the issue. Having money. You need to have the money to have the money. But to have the money, you need to sort of do the legwork to get to the point where you don't need to do the legwork. That's the quandary of the landlord. The landlord is in the same sort of situation as the renter is, because all the quandaries that will affect somebody renting will affect a landlord as well. Or no, they can affect the landlord as well. Same bucket, same boat. Not your problems or mine, but we have both of these problems. They're the same and they're ours. You're with me, Mito. You're with me. So, okay. Rick and Morty. Ashley. I'm a cultural pop icon. I'm talking about investments. It's a long off away from spirituality, isn't it? Getting in on my head because people claim that they like me, and I don't believe them, so I'm being annoyed. Okay, so what's the difference between a government? The government builds a road right with your money. Why would they do this? Well, roads are very beautiful fucking things, quite frankly. A road has no intrinsic value whatsoever, apart from what you can add to the road. The addition to the road is the crops, It's the crops. It's the absolute crops. Because you have a road that goes from one place to another, and it's a bit faster. It's just a bit faster than somewhere else. It doesn't need to be anything fast. It could also be a bit slower. If it's used, if it's abused, and if it's worshipped as such, then business can grow from it. You yourself, you take this road to go to work. Surface from the road, a gas station on the side of the road. You gotta have a toilet. You gotta have a hotel and an inn, and a restaurant, and soon enough everything builds up slowly. If if you have one thing, you're bound to have a next thing. If you have one thing, you have the another thing. If you have the other thing, you have the other thing. If you have the other thing, then you have the other thing. That is the beauty of continuous growth. You can achieve this by simply trusting it. Trusting it in a believable manner, you know. If you see beauty, allow beauty to grow. If you see ugliness, allow ugliness to grow. Because beauty can come from ugliness. And ugliness can come from beauty. And both of these things can be utilised to live a proper, happy life. Both of them. There's no sense to sort of deny this. And not to understand this is, that's kind of a blessing in itself, quite frankly. That's innocence. And that's important. Innocence is very important. Should you protect innocence? I don't think so. But on the other hand, I think so. You got your two hands. You think so and you don't think so. You're non-thinking and you're thinking. Both are important. It's kind of like I want to say it's a Jewish thing, but I don't really know. It could just simply be like a Bronze Age thing, to where having giant families is both functional and important. Because you have like a swab of children doing the meagre works, and they're all equally as important as the next, because they ensure the function of the day-to-day. Picking the fields, watering the crops, feeding the animals. That sort of malarkey. It's very important to have the malarkey. Like, you can toss it away, but, you know, if you pick an apple a day, you're going to have, like, a mound of rot. And that rot can power a field for years. It could be an auction in itself. And it could be something entirely new. You never know. Get your seed apple oils. Custard creams. So, that's favoritism. In the fundamental sense, you have people working the day-to-day stuff, which is important. You have people beyond that. They aren't really necessary, right? They're not necessary to anything. Myself, I'm not a necessary person. Not necessary at all. Long accepted that I am part of the group of people of the unnecessarily men. We were destined to die in war. We were destined to kill in war. We were destined to be killed in war. And we're destined to be kings of war. Absolutely so, mate. That's an interesting factor, though. Because you have these quandaries of people, the medium of people, and then you have the important people. Beautiful people that do crazy things and get lots of stuff and make the road. The road is worked on by the day-to-day people and walked on by the unnecessary men. It's as it were. It's as it were. You know. So, I didn't really say anything about the government, right? The government, anybody can build a road. You can build a road. I can build a road. So what's the difference between the government building a road and me building a road? The government only does so to justify itself. It wants the authority to justify more authority. That's the government. That's justification to build, justification to build, justification to build, justification. Fundamentally. And that's, like, that is acceptable because there is a long list of rules and regulations and understandings and context and guns to ensure that it can only operate in certain ways, only has certain reach, and performs itself in a manner to which is conductive to the environment that it wishes to produce. Which is perfectly acceptable, I suppose. It's a long way to, like, not have a king. It's a long way to it. It's fine, though. It's a long way from God. It's fine, though. Both things are fine. So, going back to renting, and you have from the small scale. If you can't make your rent, and you're like you have no savings to spend, you have nothing and no one. You need something that you can come from nothing. You need something that can produce from everything, and you need something that will elevate you from the muck. Your golden shovel to dig yourself out the shit. What is that, though? Well, a lot of people, YouTube, for example, that's like a fake job, right? Cryptocurrency, that's like a fake job, right? You can argue they're fake, but they make money, and that's what's important at the end of the day. People to spend upon you that grants you your way. So what is YouTube? YouTube is the divine right that grants digital kings their kingdoms. Your influencers. Because quite frankly, your influencers make money from their reach, and their reach is their audience, and the audience is their money. So, if you understand this, of course kings are going to advertise. But I heard an argument to where you don't want to advertise somebody else. You want to advertise yourself. And that's a perfectly good argument. But if you don't really have a product to advertise that's solely from yourself, then you can't really capitalize. So, if you, good itch. So if you can't capitalize on yourself, then you can capitalize on somebody else. Perfectly fine. Because you're selling your reach. And, adverts on a TV, not really that harmful. They are harmful, but they're not really that harmful. Product placement in a film, harmful, not really that harmful. It comes to the argument of what you need to sort of grow yourself. You need marketing to grow yourself. And if you are the marketing to grow yourself, then you're growing yourself through your marketing. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're growing somebody else through their products with your marketing. It could also be the opposite as well. You can grow yourself through their products with your marketing and their marketing as well. It's kind of why everything gets a bit incestuous, Like, you come to fuck your mum and it turns out it's your sister. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Forgive me for being vile, but, it's terrible. But is it? If you make money, I make money, and everybody makes money. The digital king makes his money. The digital video editors, the moderators, the hypers. Well, I guess anybody who subscribes to you is kind of like your theme park. You're an entertainment, and you're beautiful, and you're wondrous, and you grant just whimsical to millions of people, and that's like pure and beautiful. But you can't make money from a theme park unless you own a theme park, or you work there. And working and owning a theme park is a lot less magical than it seems. Unless you have the spiritual purity to understand why it's needed and why so many people love it, So what's a more idealistic sort of approach? You put your money in, you take your money out. That's what's necessary. Ponzi scheme, basically. But it's economics on like a basic sort of level. If I spend something, I get something, and you make something. Eventually it'll all work out. No, not really. You have to have like fundamentals for it. You have to have something realistic for that sort of approach. So that's like landlording in a realistic sense. You have something that is pure, and you are paying for security in yourself. I had something more. Did I go for it? I've completely fucking forgotten.